Hi everyone, it's Mary Jo Snyder. Welcome to MJ Shady Inkers and my YouTube channel. I'm so happy that you're here with me right now watching this video so I can show you how to make the Spongebob on my Spongebob card that uses the Snail Mail Designer Series paper and a few other things, dies and punches, and of course the Whale of a Time Designer Series paper. I'm so excited that so many people loved the card that I created that I wanted to come to you and share a few tips and tricks on how to create this card yourself. So let's go ahead and get started. So I have chosen this Designer Series paper for this one. I used a different piece, same pack of paper, but I used a different piece for my original design. So we're going to cut this right down to size now, and I'll share what that is. You want to cut this at 5 1/4. No, I'm sorry, 4 by 5 1/4. But you want to make sure it is going the way you want it. So 5 1/4 will be right here. There is going to be a little bit of the seaweed here up at the top, but that's not going to be a big deal. So your Designer Series paper for that piece is 5 1/4 by 4, and we're going to set that aside. I've obviously done some pre-cutting so that I'm not going to take up too much of your time, but I do want to share how to do Spongebob for this card. I've also decided to use a piece of Bermuda Bay cardstock cut at 4 1/4 by 11, and I'm just going to fold that in half, grab my bone folder, and just varnish that fold like so. And there's my card base. Now, to build Spongebob, there's a lot of elements that you may want to use. So I'm going to do things piece by piece so you understand what we're using. Again, Whale of a Time Designer Series paper, 6 by 6 in the annual catalog. I am incorporating the Snailed It stamp set. No, I didn't use the stamp set. I'm using the dies, the snail dies. And I actually use this die to cut out from the Designer Series paper, which you can see. I've kind of chewed this up a little bit for projects that I made, but I want to cut out this snail to resemble Gary from SpongeBob. So he looks just like Gary. So that is the one I used, and this die will cut that right out of the Designer Series paper. You're also going to incorporate this die for SpongeBob's face and part of his body. So you're going to use the postal image die for that as well. So those are the dies that I used for part of SpongeBob. So we'll set those aside because I've already got some stuff pre-cut. So let's grab the pieces that I've already cut. We have that die piece, and we've cut out him. So we got Gary and SpongeBob's head. And actually I do need the stamp set. That's why I'm going to show you a little tip with the stamp set. So you do need that stamp set. And hopefully you didn't throw something very important out that is in that stamp set for this process. Okay, the next thing I need, let's do this part. We'll do this part first. Inside your stamp set came this little round circle that was in the inside of your word bubble. I kept it because it's the perfect shape for doing the little circle images on SpongeBob. So let's grab, and I didn't put a sticker on it, let's grab a block and our Daffodil Delight ink, and we are going to add some Daffodil Delight to SpongeBob's face. So just randomly come in and add some spots on SpongeBob because, you know, he's a sponge. And it's okay if you stamp off a little. I'm going to put some over here. Doesn't need to be crazy. Just add enough to give it a little added texture on that image. Okay, so we've used that awesome little spot that came in the middle of your word bubble die. So that's why it pays to keep some of these pieces that come in your kits, in your stamp sets. So we have that all set. We're going to move Gary aside because we don't need to do anything with Gary. In order to continue to build Spongebob, I pulled in the Playful Alphabet dies. The eyes are actually made out of the circles, or the O's. You have 2 O's in this stamp set. So I'm using both of those, and I've already done the cutting. I've cut them both out in Bermuda Bay as well as Basic White. So I'm going to grab those for you. Actually, I'm going to try and get everything out of my little thing here. All right, set that aside. So we have the circles for his eyes, which are actually the O's. And we have the Bermuda Bay for the inside of his eyes from those O's in the Playful Alphabet dies. So those are going to be his eyes. And we'll put this all together. The next thing I need, and I do need a retired punch, which I will never give away or get rid of. It is the 1/2 inch circle punch. I need to punch out a few different circles. I need one in Daffodil Delight for his nose. I also need to come in and punch sort of a half moon crescent for the cheeks. So you're going to come in again and you're going to punch those out. Almost looks like an eyelid. And you want 2 the same size, roughly. So you need those. So now you have those pieces. Whoops. Okay. Now we have that. So we have the nose and the cheeks. So let's try and get this all assembled. You will need to use Tombow glue if you are not using, for some of the die cut images, you could certainly use the adhesive sheets. Let's get this glue going here. Maybe it's empty. There we go. Way too much, as usual. All right, so grab that, and they are going to kind of right up here. And they're really close together too, so you may need to reposition them. Hopefully we'll be okay. Come in with the other one, now that I have glue all over my finger, and add a few dots of that glue. I think I need to get one that has more in it. I think that's my problem. All right, so come in here. Oh, and make a mess. I need to buy some tweezers. Okay, and then you want them both going the same way, which that is not it. And add that one there. Kind of looks creepy at the moment. If it's easier for you, by all means, use your adhesive sheets when you're doing the die cut images. You can use glue dots to adhere the inside of the eye, the colored part. So that's what we're going to pull in for this piece here. And I'm going to grab my take your pick tool to make this a little bit easier for myself so I can get proper placement where I want that. Because I want that to go in as if I cut it from, you know, when I cut it. Does that make sense? It should fit right in there. So we have those pieces. So for obviously for when you cut out the O's from the white, you're keeping the white on the outside, and then you're going to cut them again from Bermuda Bay, and you're going to keep the Bermuda Bay for the inside of the eye. And now, with whatever punch you have for the black circles, for the inside of the eye, and I think I had black here, grab a piece of black cardstock, piece of scrap, and I'm going to take the larger circle on my punch. That's not the large one. Yes, it is. And I'm going to punch 2 of those out. And actually, I don't even think that's what I used. It's not. Bear with me because we are going to find what I used. I did not use that punch. So let me collect my thoughts. I know that there is a circle somewhere, and maybe it was on a punch that I had. Oh, let's check my notes and see what we got going on there. I may have just used my regular, I used my regular hole punch. So my apologies for the, I'm gonna keep going because this is a detailed kind of assembly and stuff, I don't want to start over in my recording. So there's no edits in this. I'm actually recording live in a private group right now to post to YouTube. So I look forward to when I can do lives on YouTube. It'll be fun. All right, I want these to be, and I grabbed that one that's empty. I should just throw it away. This, the black part of the eye, so the pupil, is going to go here because SpongeBob is going to be looking over at Gary. Lots of glue, craziness. We're gonna set this aside and let it dry after we get the cheeks and the nose on there. Oh, we gotta get some teeth too. So the nose is going to get a glue dot. So right in the center of that 1/2 inch circle punch, go ahead and add a glue dot to it. Doesn't want to stick. And that's going to go right there, like so. Now, here's a trick. Because I'm using my Stampin' Right marker in black, I want to grab my oval, layering oval dies. Because I don't draw very well, I'm going to grab one of my ovals to help me make his smile. And I want to come in with the brush tip. These are water-based, they'll wash right off your die. I would not recommend using your Stampin' Blends for that. So you can use whatever one you want to create that circle or that smile, or you can just hand draw it, whatever works for you. I do need to add some eyelashes. So SpongeBob has 3 eyelashes that come up from each eye, like so. Look how he's coming to life. That's all you need your Stampin' Right marker for. I also am bringing in my light petal pink Stampin' Blends because SpongeBob has a few little dots on his cheeks. At least he did in the picture I shared. So I'm going to pull this in a little bit closer so you can take a look how faint they are because I'm using petal pink for the cheeks. Okay, now grab your Tombow again, and you're going to just add a few light drops around where the cheeks would be, around the, like the smile line, the laugh lines in a sense. And it's safer for me to use the putty end, since I don't have tweezers, of my take your pick tool to come in and add those cheeks to the smile. So far so good, right? Okay. Now we can assemble his attire. With that, we have a piece of, this is, oh, that's for the sentiment. We need his tie, or his collar, for his shirt. We need his shirt, and this is going to measure, so this is his shirt piece, and that measures 2 3/8 by a 1/2 inch, roughly, yep. You have another piece, which is soft suede, that is 1 inch by 2 inches. That should be longer. Let's measure his pants. Yes, it should be it should be measured the same as the piece of white right there. So let's get this to match up to this. So I'm going to come in with my paper trimmer, and I'm going to trim that down to 2 and, right? 2 and, did I pick the wrong one? You guys bear with me. I just measured it and can't remember what I measured. Okay, 2 and 3/8. So let's cut this down to 2 and 3/8 by 1 inch. Okay, 2 and 3/8 by 1 inch. Okay, bring him back over, and we're going to put this together. So these two pieces are going to adhere together, like so. Again, this is soft suede and your white cardstock. I'm going to leave a little bit of a lip of the white, so it kind of should be like even, half inch, okay? I am going to still need my little piece there. So we have incorporated a piece of cardstock, of white cardstock, that is 1 inch wide, I believe. No, it's 3/4, because you have these notches. That's a 3/4 mark, and I actually already notched it once in my triple banner punch, or banner triple punch. So 3/4 of an inch, feed it in there, and punch the dovetail, or you can do a hand with your scissors, and then just come in and cut a part of that off. Doesn't matter if it's straight. Okay, and we are going to, with our Stampin' Write marker, just so this pops out from the rest of the white underneath, come in here and add add the oh my goodness, without causing yourself that kind of grief. Lord have mercy. Let's try that again. Now you can see this in action. Come in there and center that to get the dovetail right there, and now gently come in without slipping up and color just the edges. So when you're laying that on the piece of white underneath, it's going to pop a little bit. So that's why I'm doing that. Silly. All right, so we have that done. Now we can come in and cut that again because it's not at the right size. There. First thing I want to do is add some adhesive to the top part of what is going to be a shirt collar. Everything's sticking to me. And then we are going to place that on top. Okay? Like so. Now, we don't want to adhere this yet because we also have to build his bow tie. As you see, I have already used the classic label punch to cut out the tip of his bow tie. Not bow tie, of his tie, right there. So that's where that angle comes from. All you need to do is grab your scissors and angle that and just meet it at the top. And actually, you should angle it from the corner of, sorry about that, the one corner to the other corner. So it's, and it's hard to see because my hand's in the way. But that is what you end up with, is this right here. And then you need a piece of real red so that you can punch another 1/2 inch circle. So grab some scrap, grab my 1/2 inch circle, and just punch one of those. This is going to go right under here, like so. It's going to be that knot part of his tie. So add a little adhesive right there. Could be a glue dot, whatever you choose. I'm going to use Tombow so that if I miss it, I can reposition it. So that will go just like that, like so. Then you want to also, I'm going to put a glue dot right there now. It's going to go right there. And I'm going to grab this piece, lay it down there, and adhere the rest of the tie together. And it can be as long or short as you want it. And totally miss things up here. Hold on, I don't have it going where I want it. Let's move that and reassemble this. Okay. I'm all sticky. All right, now we got his bow tie going on, or his tie. I keep saying bow tie. All right, so there is that part. Now we can assemble these two pieces, and you will need to do some trimming because the body is bigger than the die cut image. And actually, yeah, I'll put him closer to that side. Let's get him adhered. So you want to actually adhere him by this small section up here and here. So little dots of adhesive along that edge, and of course you can add some adhesive here. And make sure you're flush to one side because it'll be easier to trim the other side, like so. So add him all like that. We're good to go. Now we can come in, and if you're not good with like lining up your scissors and cutting a straight line, then by all means do something different. Grab your paper trimmer or whatnot. But that is pretty cool. So we have that. I need to actually draw lines on there, which I should have done before assembling, but I'm not going to go backwards. So come in with your Stampin' Right marker and just do little stitch marks along his pants, like so. We're good there. Next thing we need is to build his arms and legs. These are super easy. So we need more of your soft suede. You need 1 1/2 inch circle punch. That is going to be for his pant legs. You need the classic label punch, which I've already punched out in basic white. Feed that in and round those corners in your circle punch. And it can be any circle punch. Hopefully you have the 1/2 inch circle punch still. Okay, I'm going to cut this in half. That's going to be his sleeves. Okay, so we have his sleeves and we have his pant legs. Now I need Daffodil Delight, which I know I have over here. And this is, find the measurement, a piece of scrap, but you want to make sure that it measures 1.5 inches. Grab your paper trimmer and cut out 2 pieces that are 1.5 inch by 1/4. Those are his legs. Actually, those are too thick. You actually want to go down to, scrap that, 3/16. They're a little bit smaller than that, so 3/16, not a 1/4 inch. 3/16 by 1.5. Now we have this piece and we need his arms that have a bend in them. Easy to do. Grab your triple banner punch, punch out a piece, and then eyeball it and punch out two more that are relatively the same size, because you don't want one arm bigger than the other, right? Simple. You have two of those. Those are his arms. And now we can finish putting SpongeBob together. All right, pull him a little bit closer. These are his sleeves. So what I'm going to do is figure out where I positioned them before. So right about there, I'm going to add some glue dots. So add a glue dot to that one and come in and position his arm or his sleeve like so. Grab the other one. Put a glue dot on that one. There's a glue dot. Come to the other side, and you want to make sure they're in the same spot relatively. And going in the same direction. Simple. Now, this we are going to hold off on. We're going to build his legs. So you have your 1/2 inch circle, cut it in half. And that's your soft suede. All right, grab your Tombow, put a little bit of Tombow just on that upper edge, which I've already overdone. Fine tip glue pen would work amazing too, because it would just give you enough glue that you need. I don't have that, so here we go. Now, I want to position these in roughly the same spot. It just needs to peek a little bit out from there. So there's one pant leg. We're going to do the other one. Just a little bit of Tombow. Grab him over here. Position it from the same length of what was over here, so it's not like odd. He's not lopsided. And there you go. You got his pant legs peeking out. Now we're going to add his legs. Now, the best thing for you to do is to line these up somewhere. Okay? So they're all kind of meeting at the same edge. I guess it doesn't make a difference, but we'll see how it goes. I'm going to add an enormous amount of glue because that's what I do. I hope you guys are amused with this, but I hope you're finding it helpful so that you can remake this, because I know you all were very excited about it. I'm going to add that one there, and then I'm going to add that one there. So there's his legs till I moved it. That's why it's good to use your silicone mat when you're doing some punch art. All right, so you have that. So far, so good. I got to do his teeth as well. We don't want to forget to do that. Now, these arms are long because it makes it easier for you to get them where you want them. And you may have to trim them some after you get it assembled if it peeks out from this sleeve. But basically, you want it to look like his arm is behind his hip. So position it in a way where that looks that way. And if you have to trim anything, you certainly can. So I'm going to use glue dots because it's easier for me to do that with this part. I'm going to put one on one end, fold it over, and one on the tip of the other end. Not sure if you're seeing me. Fold that over. Just don't get your hands totally on the glue dot because it will mess with it being able to stick. And just kind of position that to make it look like his hands. And again, remember, you can trim this. Let's get this one down and get that one there. And I'm just going to trim that little piece off. Like so. Grab your other one. you're going to do the same. One on the tip, fold it over, and one, give yourself a little room in case there's a little overhang at the top portion of his sleeve. And bring that in. I did it backwards, so let's see if I can make it work. So what I might have to do is come in with another glue dot because it's way up here. And I don't want that glue dot right there, but maybe I can now because I want his elbow to show. Okay, let's get my take your pick tool. And I'm going to put this a little bit lower so I can come in and add that right there, like so. And I can trim off that excess up here, like so. Hopefully we're in a good position. Might need to rearrange that just a smidge. And there you go, you have his arms. And that one buckled a little bit, but we're okay. You get the gist, okay? There's Spongebob minus his teeth. His teeth are actually 3/8 by 5/16. So let's cut a piece of paper, Whisper white, I'm sorry, white. We're gonna cut this down to 3/8, which is right there. So that's the strip. And then you want to cut pieces that are, what did I say? 5/16. So right there. You want 2 of them. That is the line above the 1/4 inch mark. So there's the teeth. So we have his teeth, and we are going to add some Tombow there. Oh my goodness. If you watch my videos frequently, you will know that Tombow and I do not get along. Now you know why. And it's okay, it'll all dry and it'll be fine. So there you go. There is Spongebob. He's done. Phew, what a task. Now we're gonna put our card together. We're gonna let that glue dry a little bit. We're gonna come in and grab our seal and add this to the card front. I'm going to grab my birthday sentiment from the Approaching Perfection stamp set, which is a celebration stamp set. Let me just reposition that. It's a little off. And okay, so we have that. We have our happy birthday stamp, Approaching Perfection stamp set, celebration set that you can get free with a $50 order during celebration. A piece of basic white scrap. I want my real red ink. And we're going to stamp happy birthday. Someone did mention this would be a great Valentine card because of snail mail and the fact that Gary has a heart letter on his back. But I'm going to stick with the birthday theme. And you certainly can use any sentiment you wish. Then I want to come in and I grabbed the wrong punch. This is one of those, I think, Label Me Fancy punches. And I'm going to have to trim that a bit so that fits in there. Grab my snips. I don't want to trim too far because I don't want to mess myself up. I have to restamp. There is a secret to this if you don't have enough to hold on to, which let me just teach you if you don't know. Adhesive on a piece of scrap. Now you have a handle. And just go ahead and punch that out. Again, that's that punch. That's in the annual catalog. Whisper White Twine. Whisper White Twine, so happy to have you back. Hope you stay for a little while. We've missed you. It is in a dual pack of twine with a Blushing Bride in the Snail Mail Suite. Give myself a little slack there so I can come around and tie a bow in the front. I'm just gonna bring that over here, trim that. I do have ribbon scissors strictly for cutting ribbon. And just tighten that up again. Got caught on my finger with all that adhesive on. Struggling, sorry. I'm going to tie this over to, now I've flipped my card upside down, so if you're a little confused, this is the top of the card. I like to, when I'm tying my bows, turn my projects upside down because it will let that bow lay a little bit better than what I had if I were tying it the other way. Doesn't really matter, it's twine, it's going to be flimsy anyway. So just finish off tying your bow, and you can do whatever size you want. I've wrapped that twine around the upper portion of the card through the inside of the card so that you can, oh, bear with me, twice. That's where I was going with that. And then I just want to trim that down a little bit. And if you wanted to, you could tuck a gift card in there. That's part of why you can, you know, when you tie ribbon through the inside of the card, you can use it for that purpose. Now we are going to make sure Spongebob is going to fit on here okay. I did not do his boots, his little shoes, so we want to make sure that his little legs, you know, come to the edge of the Designer Series paper. That was my point of that. So let's add some adhesive to Spongebob and get him where we want him. And then we will add Gary and the sentiment, and we will be good to go. So just add crazy glue. That's what I call it, crazy glue. I probably could have used my seal, but this will allow me to move him around if I need to. Again, make sure that the elbow is not hanging off the side of the card. You want it to fit in an envelope. Get him down there. Gary gets adhered with dimensionals. Put a couple dimensionals on Gary. He goes right down next to Spongebob. Yes, you're covering up some of that sandy spot in the paper. It's not a big deal. You get the gist that it's in the sea, right? And then, of course, add some dimensionals to your sentiment, and you will be able to finish off your card. You may need to raise this up some. Don't put that on upside down. And there you go, my friends. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial and that you enjoy this card and that you make some and share them with people that absolutely love SpongeBob as much as some of us do. So I remember watching SpongeBob with my kids, so this like tickled me when I saw the snail mail, and that's the first thing I saw was Gary. So all right, thanks everyone for being a part of my creation here and for loving it so much that you wanted me to share it. So enjoy, and I will see you again soon. Bye.